swings around and comes in contact with a ball return. So if you hear a whack every once in a while, that's his foot.
Just missing on the spare.
Pair of 10s, 2-pin advantage for Paul Berger early. Jackie Quinn's fan club here trying to get him riled up. Doesn't get too riled until he gets like 40 pins behind. Well, spare leave here, the 2, 4, and 8. Piece of wood right out in front. Five and 9 for Jack, trying to make it 2 spares in a row. And he does just that.
Well, Jack trying to avoid what's happened the last couple of weeks where he's fallen behind big early.
If he knows what it is to have a lead, though. Or at least early in the match. Paul Berger trying to corral the 9-pin for his first mark. Nice piece of wood to the left.
Got it. Mark number 1 for Paul. Paul's overall record here on Stars and Strikes is 9 and 5, but that's a little bit deceiving because he has been, as I mentioned earlier, in all 5 tournaments of champions. He has been in every year. Just to give you an idea how tough that is, already this year, Peter Flynn and Joe Ashline have qualified, and for each of those guys, it is their 3rd time, and they're the closest to Paul. No one else other than those 3 guys has qualified more than twice, and Paul Berger's done it all 5 times. I'll tell you more about that record in a minute, but Jack Quinn working on a spare.
6 fill. 1, 2, 7, 8 left for Jack. Oh yes, 3 in a row now. 3 spares.
It's interesting, you look last week, Dan, at those 17 marks that Jack Quinn had. He had 8 in a row to start game 2. And then he had 2 in a row twice, and that was it. No other long strings of marks. Almost cut that one across.
And a 9. 78 now through 6.
Oh, wow. Looked better than that.
Certainly did. 5, 7, 10. Let's see where this wood settles down, though. I might give him a shot.
Of the 5 Tournament of Champions appearances that Paul Berger has made, 3 of those 5 times he's come in as the #1 seed. And he's won it once. That was back in 1990 when he beat Al Cloutier in the final. Paul opened that match with a 175.
May have a shot at this. He can. Oh, it's too far left.
Almost.
Could see the 5. Had to be a little closer to the 5-pin than that.
Now, Paul's only other loss here on the wins, other than during the Tournament of Champions, was in a regular season doubles match last year. He has never lost a regular season singles match. He is 8 and 0. And he's got a 9 drop.
You don't have where he was seated each time
I do.
he comes.
Each time in the Tournament of Champions?
No, when he comes on the regular.
I would have, yeah. I would have that. Why I say, I know, I can tell you without even looking that he
has to be high.
number 1 or 2 almost every single time.
So that, again, that 9-5 record is kind of deceiving because he doesn't get a chance to win that many because he comes in as a 1 or 2 seed. He only needs to win 1 or 2 matches.
Oh, Jack moves the 2-pin a lot, but doesn't knock it over.
Give it a pop. That from the crowd. That's a new one. Give it a pop. I guess that means give it a good chance.
Maybe. Nope. $9 for Jack Quinn.
Come on, Jackal, baby. Right back, kid. Right here. Come on. Right spot for 10. What do you say, big guy? Come on. All right, work it.
Goes for you, Jack. Come on. All right.
Oh, good effort there. Just the 9 and 10 pins left, but he'll be open two frames in a row. Actually 3, 6th, 7th, and 8th.
10, 97 through 8. See what happened on that. Looked good at the start. That little piece of wood just deadened along the side kick. Well, that's a 5 fill on a mark for Paul Berger.
Strange 5, too. Diamond to the left plus the 10 pin.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem. 2 in a row.
How about that shot?
That went quick, too. Right on, flush on the 3 pin, 2 pin, I should say, and kicked the 5 into the 10. And sometimes making a tough shot like that is enough to really get you untracked.
Well, that 7 fill is enough to give Paul the lead in the match. By 1. Well, here's some numbers for you, Dan. This is Jack Quinn's 3rd week in a row, of course, after the 2 outstanding scores that he's thrown. But he has started slowly both times. And depending on what he does here in the final 2, maybe 3 times. There's a spare in the 9th, though. In the first game of the last 2 weeks, that's not counting today, but in the first game of the last 2 weeks, Jack's average is 109. In games 2 and 3, he's averaging 153.
He's going to be a little better than 109 this game.
Nice bit.
In fact, he's at 120 right now.
And it'll be 122. So Paul will need a mark to maintain his lead. And there it is. Strike in the 9th.
First strike of the match, too. Off the ball of Paul Berger. You see that replay. The 1-2 pocket. 9 pins the last one to go. Well, it misses the head pin, but let's see. The 1-4-7. Let's see what else help he's going to have. It may not be help. Who knows?
Nope.
117 now through 9.
Paul will have the lead after game 1. albeit a small one. A 10 in the 10th, a 127, and 5 pins the difference. 1 game in the books. Championship match. Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Paul Berger and Jack Quinn, and we're back in a minute. Well, we hope to give away lots of money before this show is over. We know we're going to be giving away $1,500 to the 2 bowlers, but we'd like to give away even more. And if you have your postcard in our big bin over here, which is bulging to overflowing, then you have a chance to win as well. $170 on the line at the end of the hour in our bonus ball contest. And you can only win if you send in a regular-sized postcard with your name, your full address, and a number from 1 to 10. That, of course, the number that you think will drop on the bonus ball, the number of pins you think will drop. And mail those guesses into Park Place Lanes, Route 28, Windham, New Hampshire, 03087. Now, we do empty the big box, the big bin, the postcard bin, after every win. So, needless to say, we haven't emptied it in quite a while. So, you may want to get some cards in, get a chance to win. And good luck.
We need a win.
That's right. We want to give some money away.
Yeah.
Today would be a good day to do it because it's championship week.
And now to get us going in the second game, Paul Berger on lane 32. Leading by 5. Wants the 10 pin out of there. That happens. Just the 4.
And the spare. Paul Berger from Hopedale, Massachusetts. Not too far from Worcester. Paul and his wife Paula have 2 sons, Damon and Alex, and Paul is the Director of Purchasing at Stratus Computer. Which I believe is a fairly new title.
Yes.
And another spare.
2 in a row. Of course, it's still early in the match, but remember the scores. The winner of this match will be put into the Tournament of Champions, and the scores are as follows. Joe Ashline 441, Peter Flynn 421, John Potorsky 375, and Mark Gregory 370. 1 through 4.
Of course, that's very important because the higher the score, the fewer matches you have to win in order to win the Tournament of Champions.
The more guaranteed money you
That's right.
will receive.
Jack Quinn's 5th mark of the match, all of them spares.
Mix.
7 drop. The 1, 7, and 9.
Find a way.
This may go. Depends on how that wood sprays around. Nope. Didn't hit the head pin.
Sticks. All right.
The 9.
26. Paul Berger already at 27, plus this bonus ball.
Little thin that time.
Oh, got the one I would have been worried about, the 10 pin, but left the 7. Let's see what happens to the 7, or doesn't happen to the 7 pin. One, 2, and 9 this time.
Next weekend, of course, we begin a brand new series here on Stars and Strikes, our last regular singles competition. There's a little backdoor kick for Paul Berger on the spare. Takes out the head pin last. Why not? Sure. So we'll have our final regular season field of 5 bowlers coming in next week as we begin the process of settling that last bid for the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. And don't forget that this coming Saturday, Jack Quinn just misses the 8-pin for a spare. This coming Saturday, March 26th, we begin something a little different on Stars and Strikes doubles. We've been telling you about it for the last several weeks, particularly over on the doubles show. Candlepin skins, something new. 4 weeks starting this Saturday at noon here on the Winds of New England. We'll, of course, be explaining more how the show works on Saturday, but very briefly, it's very, very similar, almost identical, really, to the golf skins format, with 4 bowlers, each competing individually, with a chance to roll up individual prize money by winning a box outright. Each bowler will roll 1 box at a time. More about that a little bit later, but right now, this little break. Paul Berger with the lead here in Championship Week, and we'll have more in a minute. We're back, and Paul Berger will be filling a spare. The very short 3-step approach, and ooh, a 3-pin fill.
Yeah, it's just the 1, the 5, and the 9 out of there. Spread eagle plus the 8-pin. Spread eagle minus the 5, 9, 6. And just 7, so just 20 pins in those 2 boxes. So the benefit of the spare is kind of neutralized there. Oh, wow. There's 2 marks there that didn't expect him to get. Let's see what happened there. Just barely touched the 10-pin and came across to get the 7. It's Paul's 4th mark this game. I don't know who works harder, the bowler out there in the lanes or these the people come to root him on.
2, 7, and 10 with wood. No. We were talking about Candlepin skins coming up starting Saturday on Stars and Strikes doubles for 4 weeks. We invite you to join us for that. That is going to be something different from anything you've ever seen on any televised Candlepin bowling program in New England. No one's ever tried it before. We're kind of interested to see how it all works out. There's a strike for Jack Quinn.
Paul Berger already had a spare in the 6. Jack follows it with a strike of his own. Just a little time for the 7-pin to go.
First strike for Jack. 6 fill on the spare for Paul Berger.
Paul is getting the spares, but he only has fills of 7, 5, 3, and now 6.
But there's another spare. Oh. Terrific shot. The 1, 2, 7, and 10, just like that. Made that one look almost routine. There's a better fill for Paul as he gets the extra kick. And it's a strike.
Kick.
The double kick. Strike on spare.
Some strange things happening on lane 31 for Paul. Let's see, there's the first kick right there. Here comes the second kick.
Oh, Jack Quinn. This is on a strike, though, so he still has time to bail out of this a little bit. Oh, 2 more. 4 fill.
Big sticks, big sticks.
Oh, great out there. $10.
That was a terrific out.
Well, you've talked the last couple of weeks about how Jack never quits. No matter what the situation, he certainly proved that over the last couple of weeks, and that was certainly Exhibit A of how you just don't let anything that happens bother you. Right back on the head pin again for another spare leave.
Of course, Paul Berger has that same MO. It's just they just don't quit. They just keep coming at you. Ooh,
Nope.
Tough break there. All of a sudden, Paul Berger can really put some distance between himself and Jack. Quietly building the lead.
That's
Now it's 24.
plus the fill on this strike in the 8th. Just missed the head pin.
Looks like Paul's getting a little more speed on the ball now. You know, almost like he's getting a little pumped up now, figuring I can take command of this match. Ooh, right around the 7 pin. 9 fill, though. That's going to push the lead up over 30.
And the $10. With one more to go for Paul here in the second. Again, just sliding by. A little bit to the right. 1, 2, 7, and 9. Paul's had a lot of these. This kind of leave. Not this time.
Well, little break for Jack. You can put a couple marks up and cut that lead in half. Around there, 15 or 20 would be a little more manageable.
264 after 2 for Paul Berger. 127, followed by a 137. Jack Quinn back on the head pin, but look out. This will require a shot. The 2, 4, and 9. Yes. With help from the wood.
Spare in the 9th. Gives him 99 plus the bonus ball.
It's nothing extra on that ball. Just 5.
I'll cut the lead down to 28.
You do for one of these. You do.
And it's not frozen, which changes the shot drastically. If it was frozen, he could hit the 6 pin maybe and spin the wood, but he's going to have to catch some of the 3.
Well, for the 3rd week in a row, Jack Quinn finds himself trailing. This will be the largest of the deficits that he has faced heading into the 3rd game, as he finishes this one with a 113 and a 2-game total 235. So the difference is 29 pins. Paul Berger in the lead with 1 game to go to decide the championship after these messages. Well, Dan told you about this list earlier, but here is a look at it so you get an idea of the 4 guys who are already in to the 6th annual Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions, which, by the way, will begin here on the Winds of New England on Sunday, April the 24th. The Doubles Tournament of Champions to begin the day before on April the 23rd. These 4 guys are already in. Joe Ashline at 441, Peter Flynn at 421, John Petorsky, 375, Mark Gregory, 370. And one of these 2 men with us today are going to join that field of 4. Jack Quinn is ready to begin game number 3, and he trails by 29. Can he do it again?
He's got to dig deep again, is right, and start quick. Ooh,
Oh.
the 1 and the 5. Not quite what he had in mind.
Nice out. Great out, $10 after chopping out the 1 and the 5. In that middle game last week, Dan, with that 179, Jack came very close to his own personal high single, which is 193. Not many people have thrown their high single on television.
What you're looking at, a gentleman who threw his high triple on a TV show.
That's correct.
Paul Berger, that 500.
By the way, if you're wondering, as Jack gets out of that one with a 9, there were 2 real pickles he had himself in those 2 boxes. He managed to get 19 out of it. If you're wondering, competitors, particularly on the Pro Bowlers Tour, and then, of course, those who compete in the roll-offs for television compete in a lot of 5-string and sometimes 10-string competitions. For the purposes of high triple, only the first 3 games that you bowl on a particular day count. You can't take, say, your 3 best ones or any 3 in a row. Only the first 3 count. $10 for Paul Berger. Of course, from Paul's point of view, he knows what Jack Quinn has done the last couple of weeks, and he's just hoping to put some marks up and click the shot clock down if he can. He gets a strike in the second.
Just nudging the 5-pin right there for the strike.
11 marks for Paul, 3rd strike.
Right, not bad. Get it, come on.
Well, Jack has been missing the head pin. That's 3 times in a row this 3rd game. $10. Been doing a nice job of escaping, but 10 boxes aren't going to do it.
And some of that magic again he's had the last couple weeks and string 4 or 5 marks in a row.
Back on the head pin that time, but it's going to take a cut shot.
2, 4, and 6. No wood.
Another 10. But the lead is at 30 plus for this man. He's filling a strike here.
With just 6. That'll increase his lead some more.
I think I'm going to ask the guys on Sports Wrap next week to explain the skins format. See if they can give us a little head start for next Saturday afternoon. John Habib, Tom King, and Bob Gamir every Saturday morning at 11:30 here on the Winds of New England. Sunday at 11:30, right before our show here. Jim Rivers and Tony Carnevale, of course, with the High School Sports Review. Right now, Paul Berger in command. Championship week, but there is still time remaining for Jack Quinn, and I don't think I'd count him out based on what we've seen the last 2 weeks. We'll come back in a minute. Jack Quinn.
Final 6 frames.
You'd think he needs to start right about now.
I'd like to have that wood come out a little bit, but not too far so it blocks the 5. Right there would be nice.
Well, past it, it may turn a little bit if it comes all the way out to the end of the lane. Well, It's going to stay somewhere in the front of that 5-pin.
I'd like to see some of the 5, and I don't think he can, so that means he might have to come up high.
Nope.
So he tried to do.
Oh, how about that? Look at that. Wow.
He says, why isn't that wood out of the way? I could have made it that way.
One of our participating sponsors for this series on Candlepin Stars and Strikes, Emmett Horgan and the gang at Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan. Come to Salem and save. Route 97, right on Main Street, Salem, New Hampshire. Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan. Well, Jack could use a strike, but he may have to settle for a spare.
But that's not automatic. That way that wood's set up. Now it is. Spare in the 6th.
That's 8 marks for Jack Quinn.
Paul Berger working on a spare.
And he's got a shot at another one. With the lead now 42. And there's another one. Paul Berger may be on his way to his 9th consecutive singles win in regular season competition without a loss. There's another mark.
And that's 3 in a row and 4 out of the first 6 frames of this game number 3. Came in leading by 29. He's now increased that to 48. This is on a spare.
Jack really is in strike territory right now, the way Paul is throwing. Gunning for the 410 here. Nope. 10.
All eyes are going to be on the score now that Paul Berger is going to put up. He's 78 through 6, 264 for 2.
I would say the bottom 2 scores are
Definitely
are going to be passed.
Right.
Spare in the 8th for Jack Quinn.
Jack Quinn stays alive, just barely. 421 is going to be a tough reach, though. That's the 157. You'd have to keep marking.
In the 5 previous times he's been on the Tournament of Champions, Paul has only been seated below number 3 once. 3 times he's been the number 1 seed. Another spare after a 9 fill. Tell you what, he may give a run to those upper scores.
I'd get a little excited if he threw a 8 or 9 or a strike here on this spare.
Well, how about a 7?
5, 9, 10. No wood. Just going to try to cut the 5 on the left-hand side. Very delicate shot.
Nope.
Good try.
Well, Paul has already eclipsed the scores of Mark Gregory and John Petorsky. Of course, he still has not mathematically won the match yet, but unless Jack Quinn were to throw pretty much all strikes here.
A bunch of strikes.
Yep.
A bunch is quite a few. A few, and then we have a bunch. He needs a bunch. The magic just wasn't there for Jack this match, but had a great run the last couple weeks. Oh,
There's
yes.
a nice spare in the 9th. But even a triple strike and in the 10th, and Paul Berger would only need a pin or 2 to win it. Well, he's going to give it a run. There's 1 strike. Jack's going to make the final score a little bit more respectable here.
And for Ball to catch Peter Flynn's 421, he's going to need a double strike up there.
Oh, let's see. One time for Jack. 132. One ball to go. And it'll stay that way. A 9 fill. A 132 with 11 marks. 367 for Jack Quinn. So Paul Berger, for the 6th time, is in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. And
well,
look out,
one strike.
there is a strike. He is not firm in that number 3 spot yet. Reminder, when you come to visit Park Place Lanes, stop by and say hello to Rodney Cronin and our friends at the Willow Tree North restaurant. Located right inside Park Place Lanes. For the spare on the strike, no. So it'll be a 400 series for Paul Berger. But as of this moment, he is the number 3 seed in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions with a 406. But he's got the win, and he's coming back in the spring for the 6th time in a row. We'll come back to talk to the bowlers and see if we can't give away some money in the bonus ball contest in a minute. All right, thanks again for joining us here on Championship Weekend. The match completed now, and ho-hum, another win for Paul Berger, another time in the Tournament of Champions. We should call it the Paul Berger Tournament of Champions.
Yeah. Yeah, he bowled great today. But you know, the problem was Jack still bowled well, but his rooters, they were quiet this last match. They just didn't give him the support he really needed. He lost the magic because see, it's gonna be a long walk home, Jack.
Let's talk to both bowlers. Let's bring up Jack Quinn first. Big round of applause for Jack. He has done some incredible work here the last 3 weeks. There is the second place check for $500, and boy, I'm sure it's not the check you wanted, but still some terrific work.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice. Brian gets half of this, Brian Fuller. We have a deal.
Well, now
he has to give me half of his, though.
Now, obviously, your strategy was way off here this week. You fell behind by 40 again, but you didn't do it soon enough. By the time you fell behind by 40, there wasn't much time left.
I would have needed another 5 strings to catch up.
Congratulations, Jack. Terrific work, and we'll see you again soon, I hope. Thanks a lot. All right, Paul Berger. What, he's been on camera 3 weeks. He needs more camera time. Paul Berger now for the bonus ball. Paul, please, on lane 31. And it'll be $170 on the line here. Well, it looked like it might have been a punch-out. Instead, it's 8. Let's see. Pressure's really on Dan Murphy here. Digging through the middle there, and
50. Oh, no.
No, that's not the right number. Oh, not a match. The guess was 7 for Philip Stultz. Philip Stultz from Nashua, New Hampshire. Thanks for sending in the card. You'll be getting a TV50 NHCBA gift in the mail very soon, and this man to my right is going to get one of these other checks for $1,000. Step right on in here so we can get you on, and you only come and see us when you know you're just going to win and get into the Tournament of Champions, right?
It should be that easy. Believe me, it's not. No, obviously I enjoy bowling here in these lanes and on the show, and I've been very fortunate.
Well, I don't know if you're aware of this, but 9 times you've been on during the regular season in singles, and 9 times you've won. You've never lost, so I guess that means you are pretty comfortable.
That means I lose quite a bit in the Tournament of Champions. 'Cause I've only won once there.
Well, at least you know you're there, and you won't have to wait too long, and we'll be seeing you back for that real soon. Thanks, Paul.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot.
All right, Paul Berger, congratulations again, another win. $1,000 richer, and here is the way the Tournament of Champions looks right now, with just 1 spot now available. And among the names we showed you earlier in the hour, of course, Joe Ashline still on top, 441. Peter Flynn, 421. Now put Paul Berger in the number 3 spot at 406. And then John Petorsky and Mark Gregory. And next week, we begin the search for our final qualifier.
Just a bunch of no-names and a whole list there. You and I could beat any one of them, Doug. You know I know it. It's a great lineup. I can't wait. And who will be the number 6?
All right. Do you have any final words before we leave? Because the next time we'll be joining you folks here on the Wins will be Saturday afternoon, which, of course, is March 26th at noon. We will begin a brand new series, but It'll be a brand new, completely different series on Stars and Strikes doubles. In fact, it's not going to be doubles at all. It's going to be skins competition.
It should be very interesting. No one's ever done it, at least in the States. Up in Canada, they have a bowling show, and I've seen the format. It's exciting. We like the ties. The pot grows, and all comes down to box by box.
All right, that's next Saturday on Stars and Strikes doubles. We'll start our new 4-week skins format next week, just to give you something a little different to look at, and talk about. And then, of course, next Sunday, we begin our final regular season series here on the singles program. That, of course, is next Sunday at noon. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole Winds of New England crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a good week, everybody. Thanks for being with us.